Yo,
Oh,
hello.
it's rewind time.
It is rewind time. I was gonna hit him with the what the fuck is up, but this is the wrong show. It's the wrong intro.
Whatever.
It's the AEW Dynamite post show rewind, and as you can see, I'm just circling ahead, and I am not a video today. I am not supposed to be here, but our guys, Gary Joe and Richard, are off on assignment. Gary Joe at the AEW Dynamite event right now, and Richard enjoying some Tex-Mex. Introduce yourself, my friends, before we get into this Dynamite recap. You got
right.
Nick pointing at can't talk, so
Do we sit awkwardly and stare at each other for 5 minutes first, or do we just?
That's what we're doing now.
Right. I stare at you. You stare at me.
No, god damn it! That's Caesar. That's Nick. They have their names under their faces. We might as well not even waste our time. We get into that AEW Dynamite. What y'all think? What y'all think of that main event?
Hey, you can't not address the fact that I want buffalo wings again.
Oh,
and I'm here.
Off to a great start, fellas.
Yeah,
for sure. So, what y'all think of that episode of AEW Dynamite? By the way, it felt like kind of like we are shifting our focus a little bit. Everything was hitting a little hard. I was like, okay.
It definitely felt too like they were like building towards next week more than just like, all right, this is a week that we're gonna have things happen.
That was a pretty sweet match, dude. I will say in short, that was pretty sweet. The short version.
Yes. Tournament wise, matches were solid.
Oh, straight across the board, 3 for 3.
Once again, another night of it.
Yes.
Good old Swerve. Swerve's momentum is crazy right now. Swerve.
Yeah, that's the easy way of explaining it. That's the only way you can really say is it's his momentum is sweet, or like Prince Nana says it in his own words. That's the easiest way of explaining it.
Very eloquently put.
That's the best quote to use in that situation, at least when it comes to that momentum he's driving right now. Whether it's the Hangman angle or in this case the Continental Classic. Well, that's a mouthful.
It's a classic that happens to be continental.
It's classic.
Where is Hangman?
He's hanging. I'm done.
Yeah.
Still, they haven't cut him down. They never cut him down off the fucking turnbuckle. That's great.
You good, Caesar, after that one.
Suddenly, this is WCW. Suddenly, he's hanging on the wall.
It's WrestleMania 15.
I'm so done.
Boss man, no.
But get Boss Man down from there.
You get him down this instant. We love Ray Trailer in this house.
I guess it's not the worst move to have Hangman disappear off television because he did fail at, well, I don't want to say he failed at defending his family. Like he didn't win the match, but he did fucking, he beat the shit out of Swerve. I felt like drinking the man's blood
scalped
was enough. Right, he basically scalped him. I feel like he that was enough. But
what do you think? Would he come back in time for World's End?
Possibly if Swerve but I don't know if I want to see Swerve and Hangman continue, like, because I mean, if he comes back after an extended time off, after Swerve basically cheated to beat him, then conventional thinking says he probably is going to come back angry at Swerve and looking to get some measure of revenge. Hopefully he doesn't
be mine.
Hopefully he doesn't like cost him the title. That would suck. I'd hate that.
But isn't everyone banned from ringside even in that match too?
Yeah, exactly. It should be. Thank you. You're right. Absolutely right.
So it won't happen that way, but maybe he's the first challenger.
Thank you. I mean, that'd be fine. That'd be cool. But then he has to lose again. Ew.
Let the record show. Even if there's outside interference, though, you could still get points. You just lose a few.
No one wants to
don't do that. Don't do that.
No one wants to risk
that. He fucking made such a big deal about it not having anybody at ringside. Like,
if you're high up enough, they made sure to emphasize too that if it's a draw, you'll get a point, and then if any interference does happen, you'll lose a few points, but it won't be enough to break you.
No one's gonna risk it. Still, I'm pretty sure they'll want to make it so it's very 1-v-1. No outside interference. No shenanigans, we'll say.
Just before the shenanigans happen.
Yeah, it'll be very 1v1, and like okay, like when it comes to those matches, you guys would say that was a hell of a match, though, right? Strickland and White,
absolutely.
1v1 craziness, chaotic.
It might not have been match of the night. That obviously goes to the War Dog and AR Fox, but Swerve
wow.
and Jay White, they just tore it up, and it was everything you would expect from those two.
No, that was honestly, I came down and I was just like, I was watching it and I was just like, that was actually a pretty good match considering, you know, it's a tournament, not just a one-off.
Absolutely.
They could all of a sudden come back later. What is it? This is this tournament, but like down the road, they could have another feud because this could be like the testing waters for feuds. And
there should be feuds. I think there should be. I think even though they're focusing on the storytelling the in-ring aspect of the tournament, I think they should be using these matches to create stories. Or at least I watch a lot of anime. I've seen a lot of tournament arcs. All right. One of the first tournament arcs ever in anime came from Dragon Ball. They used that arc to tell like six different fucking stories plus one overarching one. Like that was like the blueprint for tournament arcs after that. Like
don't
every other
forget
anime.
too, it built to future tournament arcs as well.
100%. That's how I think pro wrestling needs to be booking these tournaments. Not like a fucking anime, obviously, but utilizing these matches to tell stories or to at least create stories that could come out of the tournament.
And I know there's a lot of people too that are just of the belief that like, oh, you're wasting a match with Swerve and Jay White on an episode of Dynamite. That is not true. Like this is important. This is for the tournament. This is for you got the bragging rights. You got whatever you're gonna win from defeating your opponent. Plus, again, like two guys that want to tear down the house and two guys that want to make sure that they can keep their own respective records going.
Not to mention, this is also like a testing waters for again what John was saying, storylines down the road. So, absolutely. And again, as we all heard, all of us are very much for White and Strickland when it comes to a future title match, possibly. Not in the near future, but like down the road.
Assuming Swerve Strickland actually wins the title, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, true.
I don't know what you would even. I don't even know what you would do. I don't even know how you would not have Swerve win the title here. Like I'm not sure how he could still look strong and not come out of this tournament because he's got so much momentum right now. But at the same time, it's like weird. Like a part of me doesn't see Swerve winning this belt for some reason, and I don't know if maybe that's because his momentum is so hot. It's so hot right now that. Maybe this belt is not. Maybe he's beyond. Maybe he's above this belt. I don't know. It kind of feels. That's how I feel about it. Guys.
I can honestly agree with you on that one. All the people I've talked to in my area that do follow the whole program can honestly say that they could see him doing something above. And then all the pictures that I've seen online of him being flaunted as a champion have been more towards the big one, the big platinum versus the triple crown. That's just an idea. But when is the question would you do it though? If he wasn't going for the triple crown, when would you do the big one down the road, like in 2024? Because his, like you said, John, his momentum is super hot.
I think
scorching.
If it was me, if I was booking it, Darby wins the belt from MJF because that's the story they've been selling. That's how I feel. That's the story they've been telling. Like the headlock takeover from before MJF had the belt, the situation that happened in the Four Pillars match, Darby coming around and winning that belt from MJF with like a headlock takeover would actually be the perfect fucking circle.
Plus, don't forget having your world champion climb Mount Everest with the title.
First of all, that would be incredible. If he stood on top of Mount Everest and like planted an AEW flag and just held the fucking belt up, that would be some shit.
That's a photo moment right there.
That's incredible.
With Sting.
But also, the thing about the Darby World title is that Swerve and Darby actually have a long history already.
Yeah.
The Portland history. They're like career rivals. It would be awesome for that to be the world title match at some point. I don't know when. I mean, soon. I would not wait until like 2025. I'll fuck around and do that at Wembley or something. I don't know. The Osprey. People really want Osprey. I don't. That's the thing right now. They've got Darby, they've got Swerve, they got Osprey. Everybody wants Osprey to be world champion. He just fucking got here. I don't know. That'd be a little weird. But
welcome in. Here's $1 million, and here's the title.
Here's the fucking world title. Your first Wembley.
Yeah, your first big one.
Not the second one, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. We'll fucking see.
No, I agree with that one.
I guess if we went back around at the top of the show, they opened up with John Moxley and Jay Lethal. They fucking killed it. I actually missed it. So y'all tell me about. I was at work. I was driving home. I was watching the show. I don't want to talk about it.
At this point, John, it's like you're not even here.
Yeah, no.
Oh no.
So yeah, like do we say that Moxley's gonna keep going and become one of the top 2 in the gold division? Gold team? Yeah. Gold division? Gold bracket?
I would say so, honestly. And this honestly goes with the leagues that we were talking about, with the aspect that Moxley and Swerve are going to be the two sealing dealers, like the top earners. And thus far, it looks like that's the direction we're going in. And it makes me wonder if next week it's going to be, the guys with 6 points taking each other on, or do they save that towards the end?
I would save that, because if you're the top tier guys, and then as you could say, you have the other 4 versus each other, whoever comes out of that, those 2 take on each other, or take on the 2 top tier guys. My brain just kind of crashed right there. No, so basically it would do it where, like, who was it? Lethal, Roosh, Briscoe, and White. Those guys go against each other, and then those guys versus each other. The ones who win of those 2 matches go against each other, or those 2, the top 2. Then they verse the other 2 on their side, the top 2 you said. And then the winners of both those matches versus each other. Yeah, like that, see?
There we go. That's the graphic.
That's better, yeah. So like Roosh, Briscoe, Lethal, White, those guys take it on each other. And then when they verse each other, the ones who win the ones that win the top 2 of those 4 will go against those 2. And then whoever the top 2 out of those 4 become like the top runners, I guess, if that makes any sense. But even my brain kind of crashed a little right there. But
yeah, these types of tournaments are fun, just in the fact that it's just like, okay, how are they even organizing it? Do they know? Because we're also technically, aren't we behind a match too on the Blue League?
Look at my notes here.
Did Danielson have his match yet?
No, him and Garcia have not competed, or Garcia or Idolo have not competed, it looks like. I have that written wrong. Oh, or no, sorry, I have it written wrong. It's Idolo and Garcia or Danielson haven't competed yet. Those 2 are the ones that have not had a match yet. You're right.
Yeah, so there was a slight delay on the other side of the spectrum, but one of the things with this match in particular that I really appreciated was Lethal took it to Moxley. And
he did.
Yeah, so like while Lethal, has 0 points, at the same time, like he probably has the most offense on Moxley that anyone's had in months.
No, you're not wrong on that one. I'm just looking at my notes and thinking about that one. Yeah, he did pretty damn good considering, as you said, he's the only guy who's got 0 points.
Yeah,
him and
Briscoe.
Yeah, him and Briscoe are literally in the zeros. Do you see them making a comeback?
Jay Lethal, I could see definitely making a comeback at some point, just because they've really been putting over just how much offense he has, and they keep saying that he's this significant veteran. And same thing with Briscoe too, to a degree. I feel like, I don't know, this is just my kind of prediction wise here. Yeah, I could see Briscoe getting just some big upset over maybe like a Swerve or a Jay White maybe, and Lethal I could see getting some sort of victory maybe on like a Roosh. Because they gave Roosh his victory. I don't know how many more wins they'll give him. They'll definitely have him lose at least another time.
No, they're not going to give him everything, that's for sure. So basically what you're saying is at the end of this whole thing, you're going to give it to Swerve and Mox on the gold bracket, basically.
Gold-wise, yeah, I'm seeing Moxley and Swerve being able to take it all the way. And honestly, I don't think anyone's going to be leaving it with 0 points, just in general. I feel like everyone's got to have something, unless they know that's a plan for, maybe I could see like Garcia on his side of the bracket having easily 0 points all the way through and being, having the storyline of just like, where did I go wrong?
The human dance machine in the blue bracket. Yeah, no, I know, right? So no, I know last year we talked about it where everyone was picking Swerve as one of the picks for like the finale at the end of it all. But do you still see Danielson being as the blue bracket rep, or do you see 2 people other than him? Because I know we all said Danielson and somebody, but I mean, I watched the Brody King match and that was pretty good considering it's 2 big dudes.
Yeah,
and Brody did pretty good as all things considered.
Yeah, Brody is 100% going to be the dark House of Black, pun intended, the dark horse of the tournament. And I appreciate that. I love that because I think, the crowd is definitely behind the big man. They'll always do that. Like, woo, woo. Like they will, do the Brody bark with him. And I support that 100%. And if I'm always a fan of an underdog taking it really far in a tournament, and if we can get like Brody and Danielson towards the finals, I'm okay with that. But sentimentally, I would love Kingston to take it towards the end as well. I just don't know, because then we're going to have Kingston Danielson. So I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like Brody and Danielson would be a very interesting match because it's David versus Goliath, big dude versus little dude. And then I don't wish this on anybody. Let's just say Brody and Danielson do take it all the way, and Danielson takes the victory with a huge dub and gets hurt. Do you just automatically give it to Brody, or do you do a one-off like a recovery match to fill in the spot? Because that's a big one.
I could see like a last chance battle royal with some of like the guys that earn like a decent amount of points, or maybe like a multi-man match pinfall wise, but I don't know. That's the tricky part, because as the Nige likes to say, it's brittle Brian. So I don't know. I would worry about that match with a big Brody King, because Brody wrestles a very rough style. And I know we're kind of going away from our current matchup of the Mox and Lethal, but
gotta touch a little bit on it.
Exactly, because that's the thing with Brody, and I feel like there's a lot of brawlers in both brackets, but try saying that 3 times fast. And Moxley up against some of the brawlers from the other bracket, the other league, that's going to be insane. So whenever those finals are going to be,
I know after earlier tonight, the match they had with Roosh and what is it, Briscoe? There we go. The way that Roosh hits is really like, even my chest hurts watching those matches. Now, could you honestly imagine Roosh and Brody in just like a straight up like slap fight?
That's a Haas match right there.
I know that.
I consider Roosh big enough to qualify as a Haas.
Oh, that would be so entertaining, because like, who would you pick as the favorite going into it? The automatic big guy or the smaller one, right? Like, it'd be interesting to see how that would go over. It's just even as a one-off.
Because they even kind of alluded to that slightly during their ladder match. And I'm just thinking right now, my chest hurts after thinking about it.
What was I gonna say? So to be honest, so overall, the Mox and Lethal, what do you think? Good match overall?
Honestly, I did the match, and I especially love the fact that, and sorry to interrupt you there, I really liked how much they gave Jay Lethal, because I think that's something that's been missing from wrestling for so many years, is you could still lose the match but come out looking good. Like, again, he got more offense on Moxley than almost anyone else has, and they alluded to that based on, he's a veteran, he's been here before, he's taken on guys like a Moxley in the past, so he knew how to take it to him, and I really appreciated that.
Yeah, no, exactly. It wasn't just like, I know some people say, I can't remember who was talking about, maybe John or one of the other boys in the group, but they're saying that just because you lose, some people think that you're automatically buried. And that's not the case in this tournament. You lose, you lose your match, you lose the points, but you don't lose anything else. Unless you're like Swerve and Bryan Danielson, and you want like extreme high momentum going into X match or this match or this match. But in regards to matches, Roosh and Briscoe, how did you besides the 3 times that he tried hitting the El Toro Blanco?
Oh man, I think even before then, we need to get to the greatness that was the promo. Oh, look at that!
Oh man. Yeah, got the picture up. His promo. He was talking like as if it was like all downhill from there, and he was like, "Oh, I gotta brush it up and fix myself," and you could tell he was ready to like at least shed a tear or two.
Okay, Eddie can't lose. After this, after this tournament, after this promo, I was like, "Shit, he can't actually lose." Like, that's crazy. That's insane. I think he'd be fucking buried. Okay, that was all I had to say.
All good, man. All good. But
John,
what do you think though? Like, could he go all the way into the finals with like Swerve and Kingston, Mox and Kingston, maybe Swerve and Kingston as a new one?
I could see that. My thing is, okay, so we got the next match as Danielson and Kingston, and it's just like, how do we give, and Danielson was passionate too, like when he was up there, the return of Eye Patch Danielson again, with his passion and with Woo energy probably fueling him as well. Woo! Which we'll get to that as well in a minute. But just the fact that Danielson had so much fire under him and Kingston was the exact opposite, there's that juxtaposition that we're going to be seeing when their match comes. And it's going to be heartbreaking because, like, how can Danielson lose on his first match in the tournament when you could argue that this tournament was meant for him in a way? And at the same time, like, Kingston has always been just like the what's the word I'm looking for? Just the underdog? Emotional the underdog, and it's just like the emotional pick for the fans. And the big thing is, like, look at him. How could you not root for him? Like, he's one of us, and it's heartbreaking to think that Kingston can take a loss again, but at the same time, that just fuels that fire. He can always have that comeback and get those wins to build himself back up and reach those finals.
Yeah, we want the underdog. We want that person to go down to the bottom and then rise up again. We need that storyline that makes us want to cheer for it. You can't have that guy who's just like straight up, 24 mat points? 20 or 12 points. You can't have that person do the whole 12-point straight stretch to the top. You got to have those people that are like you said, 0 points, 3 points, no point, or 3 points. What's it? 0 points, 3 points, 6 points. It is that one. They can't have it all one-sided. So again, maybe you're right. Maybe like that near that down the road, it could be all of a sudden Kingston and Bryan, or because like I said, what if something happens? Then you got to figure out what to do next. Because what if Danielson loses? What do you do next, right? He's not buried in the tournament, but how do you bounce back with him? I guess we'll call it.
For Danielson, if he loses to Kingston?
Yeah, like can he bounce back completely, or is he completely shot?
That's the thing. I do wonder what they could do with that, because again, Danielson's whole thing going into this is he's got that fire, and this is something that he's bred for basically. And if he was to lose to Kingston here, I personally think Danielson's going to take it against Kingston. But if the opposite happens, and I've been wrong before, and I think if that does happen, Danielson will probably be the one to have that underdog comeback story, because again, he's had that before. And that's again, another thing that people have rooted for. And that's what makes this so hard to choose, Caesar, because people
agree
root
100%
for Danielson and Kingston for the same reasons.
See, the way you gotta look at this like this, right? So let's say Danielson does take the loss. Is it better to get it over with and out of the way now than later down the road? And then same with Kingston. Does he get that first loss out of the way and then build up? Or does he take another one and try and figure out something down the road? Because they only have a few more weeks left? Not even very much time.
I see what you mean. And I think maybe this could be that strategic moment. Like you said, take that short-term loss now. Yeah. Because Danielson still hasn't had that match with Andrade yet. But, if he has it with Kingston, give Kingston his second match, that could be the way that they build him back up and, get him ready to go for just a whole streak right afterwards.
Yeah, just a goddamn rocket up his ass, basically. And not to mention, if let's just say we were saying Danielson does take the L, and he has a mental breakdown and freaks out, starts smashing crap, and then starts threatening, if I don't win this next match, I'm quitting AEW. Boom, there's your story. Everyone gets behind him.
Oh, if he does that, and they say, "All right, your next match, Claudio."
Oh, that would be such a horrible story, because what do you do? Do you does Claudio take the L on purpose? How do you do that? How do you metaphorically spin that?
And that's what I love about matches and tournaments like this, is just there's so much interwoven storytelling, and at the same time too, there's all kinds of just interconnectivity when it comes down to both sides, both leagues. Because again, you want to technically, anytime you see Moxley, you want to root for him, and you think of Eddie Kingston. And when you see Kingston, you really want to think of, getting him and Mox back together once again. So there's a lot going on from the different leagues that are interconnecting.
It sucks because we could literally sit here for the next 4 hours talking about it, but we're not going to spend 4 hours talking about it. We're going to talk about.
Sure about that?
No, I don't know. Do we have enough tape in the reel for this episode?
Speaking of tape, man, we gotta talk about. Woo! We had
that promo.
Sting. We had Tony Mother freaking Schiavone, as Nige called him, Tony Schiavone. And then you have, of course,
Slick Rick.
21 times, 16 times, whatever you want to qualify him as. That's Slick freaking Rick. Woo! Leader of the Four Horsemen.
He is the Four Horsemen.
Sting.
So
as the Black Scorpion called him, Sting.
Yeah. So the question, ultimate question we got to ask, because it's been on my mind for a while. It's been on a few friends' minds. There we go. When Sting does this last match, who does he go with? And then on top of that, does he go out as Stinger Sting, or Surfer Sting, or Sting as he is right now, or Joker Sting, or some other one we haven't seen in a long time?
He goes as his Blade Runner self.
Joker Sting,
Power Team,
NWO. What's it called? Wolfpack Sting. There's a lot of different ways you could go about this one, but like I said, who do you put them with? Like, you can't. The person he gets this to dance with. It's not just going to be any random schmuck. It has to be a big one.
Yeah, so, like Tony Schiavone said, he's 24-0. He's got the longest winning streak in AEW right now, and on top of that, he's never really been in a singles match.
Mm-hmm.
And he's always the constant with Sting has always been Darby. So is this the moment where Sting and Darby finally have that, you've the teacher and the student, I've walked alongside you. I've walked the path with you. We've both been within darkness, but now's the time to, open up the doors. Here's the light. Darby, I want you as my final opponent. I feel like that's where it has to be,
But the ultimate question is also, do you just go in as face versus face, legend versus, again, like you said, teacher versus student? Do you just do it that way as like a match and that's it? No crazy BS after? Or do you turn Darby heel going into it? I kind of want to say no, but what do you think?
I wouldn't personally turn Darby heel if I was the booker, but again, it almost felt, and correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't it kind of feel like they wanted to make you think that Sting was going to say his opponent was Ric Flair?
Yeah, I got that vibe too. I was waiting for like Rick to step up to Sting and be like, "I love you, bro, but it's got to be us."
I was getting so nervous because they're talking about Full Circle and how Sting had his amazing match with Slick Rick
like 35 years ago. He said 30 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, back in the Coliseum in like 1988.
45 minutes, commercial free, before all the social media BS. That's all that whole story.
Which that itself was huge. When you think about it, commercial free of anything back then. That was groundbreaking.
So again, so we're basically on the same page. You've got two picks right now: is Slick Rick with the woo energy, or you got little Darby Allin with the young energy. But
you gotta go with Darby. I remember when TNA tried to have Flair wrestle and they started getting a lot of complaints because Flair kept taking his shirt off and bleeding. I don't think the Turner Network wants to deal with any of that. They're very well aware of any other network. The Turner Networks, Discovery Networks, whatever, they themselves are very aware of Ric Flair. And I could see, Darby having this moment because I think Sting would want to pass the torch to Darby, since Darby has literally motivated Sting to such a point that he's jumping off ladders, he's jumping off balconies,
jumping off the entrance at one of the arenas. Not the entrance, like the what do you want to call it? I guess like the place where the Zamboni would come through for like a hockey event or hockey game.
I was at the first Forbidden Door, and none of us were really paying attention. All of a sudden, we just see like a man fly off the stage, and it's Sting.
Oh, that must have been a moment right there to be in the crowd.
Oh, absolutely.
Because hey, that's my grandpa. He's jumping off of a freaking 15-20 foot high entranceway. No big deal, right?
Oh, exactly. Plus, and he's jumping onto the Young Bucks of all people.
Was he like 70 something, 60 something? No, I don't think he's actually Rick. I think he's like younger than Rick by literally.
I think he's about like 60 something.
He's got to be either like just into the door 70s, or he's in the door of the 70s. He's very close though.
Steve Borden.
we don't know his real name. How old?
64.
Holy shit.
Oh yeah. I've always been a huge Sting fan and whatnot. So even though, again, he's 64, we had to assume that retirement was coming. It's still going to be one of those things where it's going to sting to lose Sting.
That was terrible. No, there's going to be a lot of what was called vignettes from other wrestlers saying how much he's inspired him. That entrance is going to be something spectacular. They're not going to drop any less than a big amount of cash on his entrance at that event.
Oh, and absolutely.
Hell, maybe they'll put it on as the main event of the night.
Oh my gosh. Especially like, that's going to be the main event if like throughout the rest of the pay-per-view, like you got legends and current wrestlers giving, their takes on Sting and how much because Sting is one of a select handful of people, and there's not many of them in the wrestling business.
Nope.
But one that everyone universally loves.
Whether it's on wrestling, whether it's on movies, TV, take your pick. He's dare we say iconic?
No, again, absolutely. Even Sting the singer loves Sting the wrestler. Like, it's crazy. Like, I don't know if he's necessarily transcended to that upper level that The Rock and Hogan have truly done, but there's still so many people from over the years who just love Sting. And I think definitely no matter who it's up against, Sting versus whomever for the retirement match is going to be itself a huge moment. And if it doesn't close the show as the main event, it'll probably be one of the last matches that night.
What? This is going to sound like a stupid question, but because you mentioned him, Hogan?
Brother.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. Listen, brother.
Doesn't work for me, brother.
Listen, there's not enough drugs in here in these 24-inch pythons, or whatever he says the number is. 24 inch, 24. I can't remember the number.
What you gonna do, brother, when I'm on the bus? Oh no!
Give me a minute. Anyway,
get him off the bus. Get him off the bus.
Back to the actual importance, though. Yeah. Again, whoever does take it has to be a big name, but so far we're going with Darby. Secondly, back to the other thing, which
Continental Classic.
Best caption wins. Go. When they say your visa expired. Okay, no, but seriously, that was.
We can't do that.
I know that's why I stopped. That's why I stopped.
Don't do that again.
Sorry.
Please. No, thank you. We don't endorse. We at Dirt Sheet Radio don't endorse the views or commentary of our hosts. Whatever the disclaimer is.
Yeah, we're gonna get a T-shirt that has the disclaimer, or we'll get stickers made. But anyways, no. A better one is when you find out you're in the tournament, you got a big win over somebody. That's a better one to go with. He's like, but no, those dude, Roosh, his chops really hurt. Even like watching this show. Do we?
Roosh is so brutal, and that's why I love him.
Do we put him in the TNT ranks eventually?
Oh yeah, he needs something. Especially he just re-signed with them. There was talk of him eventually going to the WWE, but that fell through because he just really likes the way Tony Khan and AEW have treated him and his family. And oh my gosh, Roosh, it would be such a mistake to not push him. At least even as just like a mid-card champion. Like, imagine Roosh with that open challenge title. That would be great. Like week after week, just brutality.
I think he should go back to Mexico and grab some gold from somebody down there and come back and rep it as LFI and then win the TNT belt together. Not combine them, just have the two belts.
2-belt Roosh. I can dig it.
Like QT Marshall. Oh my god, I'm not gonna call him that. QT Marshall.
QT Marshall.
I can't even say it properly. But anyways, yeah, take the Latin American Championship, I believe it's called. Take that off of him. Get the TNT belt. Let Roosh run around, and then call him something that sounds catchy. Because I don't know, 2-belt Roosh doesn't sound too catchy. They'll figure out something. But hell of a match, I'd say. The chops that hurts. Jay is, sorry, it's not Jay. Mark. Sorry. Yeah, sorry, Jay. But Mark just doing his thing, being that guy with the redneck kung fu, just throwing hands and kicking ass. Like, what can you say? He said before he's never going to be in the tag division again, so he might as well throw down and start whooping ass every time he gets in that ring.
No, absolutely, and it's one of those things too where he's another guy that you can't help but just cheer for him no matter what he does, what he's in. Briscoe's such a good guy too, and I think even beyond just that being Jay's brother, like, people love Mark Briscoe for being Mark Briscoe, and he's able to showcase so much more of who he is right now because he doesn't have that shadow looming over him. And I guarantee, I love anytime he does the tribute to him, but at the same time, him being able to showcase what he can do is fantastic because again, there's a reason he's done some really good matches. And this was so good too for just like the Ring of Honor fan in me, just to see these two guys duking it out on national television in such an important match. And even though both guys had 0 points going into it, you wouldn't believe that based on how they were fighting. Like they were both going like they're at the top of the ladder, basically. That's how it felt.
It's how every match should feel like it's like their last match. They shouldn't just be like, oh cool, it's a match of the tournament. No, it should be like, dude, this could be the last match ever of the tournament for me. They should literally throw hands, throw chops, and
and that's what they did.
Just literally put each other through brutal hell. You've got what's it? Does he have a cap? No, El Toro Blanco versus Redneck Kung Fu. What can you say wrong? It was a very hands-on, very choppy match. Wow, that's a terrible pun.
That was everything that it should have been, though, man. Like, if you've got these two brutes. Big Roosh, you got the experienced veteran that is Briscoe. Like, it was such a good recipe. And it's one of those things where I love this league in particular, just because there's such a mix of styles from everyone on this league. And I can't wait to see the rest of the matches over the next couple of weeks for both of these guys. And I just really, really want Briscoe to get just a big upset victory. I mentioned this earlier, but if he can get a pinfall over a Jay White or a Swerve, that would be fantastic.
I'd say Jay White. I feel like if you did it to Swerve, I feel like Swerve would lose momentum. Not a lot, but just a little bit. I feel like if you do a Jay White, he can take a loss and not be completely like. I don't want to use the word buried. I just want to say like it'll slow him down a little bit, but he won't be completely screwed. Is how I'm getting at. But if you do a Swerve, I feel like it would kind of hinder his momentum a little bit. Not kill it off. It would just. Like right now, Swerve's like 12 out of 10 for momentum, but like if he gets a loss, 9 out of 10 for momentum, like it'll go down a little bit. Or
I'd say it just depends on how you do it, because again, like don't get me wrong, I would love to see Swerve, take it and be undefeated throughout his league, but at the same time, I could see Swerve being the type of guy to be like, no, if I'm going to lose to anyone, I want it to be Briscoe.
Do you think so?
I could see that. And I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I'm not saying that's my prediction, but it's just something that my heart would feel so full if I could see that.
That's got to be a match that they got to headline Dynamite with. There's no way in hell it cannot be the headlining match of Dynamite if they do that. That's definitely like one of those. I'm going to sit down, turn off my phone, and just stare at the screen for, was it 20 minutes? They said 20 minutes, right?
Yeah. That's been how I've been watching all of these tournament matches too.
Yeah, no, I get that. I mean, as you see, I keep track of stuff and talk in the group, but like, holy crap! Like, there's moments I've literally had to use the washroom, but I'm like, nope, I need to see this match through and through. picture goes, I just sprint away like crazy. But and then of course the last match on the card we'll discuss in a bit. We got to ask this question: what the hell's going on with the Devil situation? Because
who's the masked individual, which we never saw the man in the mask, whoever it may be. We did see. Oh, there we go. Yes, because remember, Wardlow immediately after the masked men attacked came out and he had very frizzy hair. And I even said it in our little group chat. I was just like, his hair looks like he just had some sort of a ski mask perhaps over it.
No, here, I mean, there's two things I can look at. Either he was wearing a ski mask, or maybe just in the off chance wearing a hoodie. I'm not defending Wardlow. I'm not saying I know anything either. Oh, what's going on?
It's some devil talk. I wanted to talk about the devil. I wanted to talk about the devil because as you guys were
so interesting
swoops in.
We're probably gonna talk more about it on the flagship Dershi radio show, but as you guys were doing the Dynamite recap, these tweets started happening online. And I think they might be devil related. I just think it's interesting that Britt, and I got some more coming actually.
Pull up a chair, ready to read these all.
I'll explain it.
Happening live, folks.
I'll explain it as it happens, right? You got MJF fucking a fan tweeted a thing and they were like, MJF, you ruined the feeling at AEW. Like, what are you talking about? Sammy Guevara, Jack Perry, and Britt Baker all like this fan's tweet. And Britt Baker then tweets this out. And you think they're either being weird little locker room hoes or this is the beginning of revealing who's in the devil faction. If you if you tally it up right now, you would have Britt Baker, Wardlow,
and let the record show Britt Baker and Wardlow are friends.
Yes, they are. They're absolutely connected. You'd have Britt Baker, you'd have Wardlow, you'd have Jack Perry, Sammy Guevara, and Adam Cole. That would be your faction.
Is it bad that the aspects of Sammy and Jack Perry being a part of that just made me go womp womp?
Maybe, but the story's there. They are. I mean, I would hate to slot in random people and then just ruin this like a retribution thing.
So is it like an alliance, if you will, of people that MJF has wronged in the past in different ways?
That, or maybe people that think he fucked up the company. Like you and your bullshit hugging my boyfriend here. you stealing my man on television. You ruined the product. But no, there were also people online speculating that this bigger dude was Wardlow in the hoodie. So maybe.
Again, like Nick was saying, his hair is frizzy. It looks like as if maybe he just took off a ski mask.
I actually hate that they ran them out the ring the way they did. I hated that whole segment, the way that happened.
Because it was
MJF,
1v5.
Well, no, MJF's promo was really good, and he's saying all these things, and Joe and fucking went to WWE and they ruined him. It was a great promo, and then the devil people run out, and it was like, okay, this looks intriguing, this looks cool. What the fuck is happening? And then Joe chases him off, and they all run away like cartoon characters. Like I can hear the freaking sound effect. It was fucking ridiculous. This massive devil man in a hoodie, in a branded hoodie, then he runs away, and we don't even know who they are, and they've already been ran off. Like they should not have their aura destroyed before they even get revealed. I thought that sucked.
I don't know if it necessarily destroyed their aura for me, because I mean they've been, I don't know, because you got Samoa Joe with a baseball bat, like that's itself kind of timid. Plus he's like attacking from behind, and you just lost your big guy. So I could kind of understand it. What bothers me is like you said, the branding on the back of the hoodie. Like, oh my gosh, this is like Riddler Goon 101.
I just think I don't think it would ruin their aura like normally. Like if we already knew who they were, then fine. But I don't think we needed to do the Joe coming out to scare them away thing before they even get their masks off. Like they're supposed to be mysterious, scary. So far they hadn't been beaten. Anybody they came across, they beat the shit out of them, threw them through glass windows, injured them, took them off TV for weeks, whatever the case may be.
Real glass, cry me a river.
Yeah, and they came out and they just got chased off, and I hated it. I hated it because they just became regular wrestling characters at that point. I was
They're
like,
cowardly heels.
This sucks. You're a bunch of chicken shit hoodie people. And now they're going to be in a match next week with their masks on. I don't know. I just thought that was really silly.
Maybe they're going to do some heel tactics and not have the match happen and ruin somebody beforehand.
I just think it's weird that they're being treated like they work there when they don't even know who they are. So that implies like the boss knows who they are and they're just doing whatever the fuck they want. Like it's weird. It's so weird.
Security didn't just run up immediately, because we saw it like on the background too. All those big jack security guards that are always on every corner of the ring.
They even claimed that the show got hacked. You know, so it's like, well, then how did you book them in a match? Like, how do you even know they're gonna listen to you? I don't know.
That's my problem too. Like, you've got these guys who have been just jumping everyone from behind, throwing them through windows, whatever. And it's like you, me, old school traditional wrestling tag team match.
Ridiculous.
There's something that's going to happen next week. It's not going to be civil. There's something that's going to go down. There's no way in hell they're just going to be like, oh, we're going to fight you. Maybe MJF and Joe go to the ring, and then they all 5 of them jump Joe and MJF. This cannot be a simple thing like John's saying. They can't be just these random people who work at the company.
I just absolutely love too the fact that Joe wants to make sure MJF is at 100%. So he's holding up his end of just he's want to make sure no one jumps him. But then MJF's like, yeah, I accept, and Joe's my partner, and he's just like, what? Did I agree to this?
Sorry, you want to repeat that? I didn't catch that. I just said I'm here to save you, not be your best friend. Damn.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but I hate to say this, but like now that John mentioned those 5 individuals, wow, my brain's kind of pounding now because it's like, what if he's right? I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm not saying he's right. I'm just saying, like, what if? Because so far, your first logic makes the most sense about Wardlow, and then the other 4 he mentioned. I'm like putting all the pieces together in my head right now, going, "Huh." You know what I mean? Like, just thinking about that.
Yeah, I'm making all these thoughts connect in my head, and I don't know, because again,
should we backburner it for a minute?
My issue is really just like Adam Cole and MJF are the Ring of Honor tag champions, and I don't know why. And even though it probably is Adam Cole and set up for that big betrayal moment, I don't know. It makes me. I don't know. I also just really like them together, so I just don't want to see them break up. It's gonna happen. We all know it's gonna happen. I don't want to see it.
Or here's the crazy part. Maybe we're just all like bracing ourselves for their breakup, and it's actually gonna happen. We don't, Or the crazy part is, what if it actually is little Roddy Strong that's in the faction? In the faction with was it the Kingdom? Yeah, it's the Kingdom. What if it's those 3 and then the faction with the other people that John mentioned and Wardlow?
I do really love the idea, though, that it's just this group of people, this assortment, that the conglomeration, the alliance, whatever you want to call it, of people that have gotten together. Oh, another one, a consortium that want to align with each other. They might be enemies, but we all unanimously hate MJF together. And when you think about it, like MJF said a lot of stuff, in the past about Britt Baker. He's had those rivalries with Sammy where he, turned on Sammy and betrayed him several times. Yeah. And then, all the stuff with like Jack Perry, Wardlow, obviously.
It's good. So like honestly, and again, if you heard, his logic and your logic so far are the ones that now are coming together. It makes sense. Like it's part of the story that it was like 2020 or 2021, 2020, early on, and then now everyone's coming back into the current storyline as to become this one. I'm just gonna say faction is an easy word for now, but do they unveil themselves next week or do they get out of the match somehow? I'm thinking some shenanigans. That's my opinion.
There's absolutely going to be some sort of shenanigans. We might get close. Like they might do like when Black Scorpion at Clash of the Champions had his first match with Sting. And there's a reason why I purposely said earlier, Sting, when the Black Scorpion, was having that moment. It was because, Black Scorpion was the mask under the mask, so to speak. And it wasn't even the right Black Scorpion. It was the one on the stage. So I think it's going to be one of those things where, like if anyone that's watching this has seen the original Scream movie, it was hard to determine who the killer was because, spoiler alert, there were 2.
All we can do is hold on to our seats until next week and figure out what the heck's going on because holy, there's too many theories floating around and it's breaking my brain. That's
Jinkies.
Yeah, Jinkies. Quick Scooby. No. So the Action Andretti Top Flight and the Hardys, we'll call them Hardy Men as you were calling it. What was your take on that one? Yeah, that okay. What's with the pin? Like, is he trying to be Rhea Ripley?
You go, Dante. Like that was a man who I don't even think he was thinking of what he's doing. He was just so pumped to be back in front of his town. That was good stuff. And it's crazy. People were booing the Hardys.
It's it's weird going forward how things are changing. But do you almost push them to go to the broken universe?
Met with the stars.
Thank you for the stars.
I don't know. It was so interesting because I was so caught off guard by the fact that the Hardys were getting booed, and this Top Flight's town, but still, usually, like, you'll still, like, even when Matt Hardy was going delete, no one in the crowd was doing it, and that was like the first time I've seen that in years.
Like I said, heel turn possibly, or maybe they're just gonna be out in catering until further notice.
Yeah, notice too, like the Hardy's been gone for a while as well, and while they could establish that heel turn, I don't know if it's the time right now because I think they still want to ride that wave of nostalgia, and maybe Tony Khan sees this as simply just being like, it's a they're in enemy territory, so to speak. So
Yeah.
he's not going to think much of that. And plus, the Hardys didn't take the pin. That was Brother Zay that took that. And that's pretty much what Zay is the fall guy for the team.
He got folded like a cheap suit. Holy smokes!
How does Zay's spine work like that? He's slinky.
Even I saw that. I was like, oh. And I lift weights, and even I was picturing myself if I got folded like that. I would be like, I need a good masseuse after that. But
yeah,
but
that was something.
The part that really caught me off guard, I was about to say something in the chat. I completely forgot what it was at the time, but is the fact that Top Flight and Action Andretti were backstage, and Penta shows up. He's like, "You want to do a trios match?" And then Commander shows up, and then El Hijo de Vikingo shows up. I'm like, "Oh my god!" Because if they do that, if they did that for a 6-man, ooh,
that is a dream match right there.
They better not put that on Rampage. I'm sorry. If they put that on Rampage, I'm gonna
just watch it on Rampage.
The return of AEW Dark, one time only.
They'll change the name to like AEW Dark. They'll add some bracket name attached to it.
Getting this ready for the AEW house shows.
Oh no!
House show near you.
It's some random small town that we've never heard of. They're gonna do that match at it.
Casper, Wyoming.
But
no, not Casper, Wyoming.
But in all seriousness, it's gonna be a hell of a match when they do that, wherever they do it. Rampage, to Collision, Dynamite, who cares where.
I would love even if they made that a series.
Don't tempt them. Don't tempt them.
I'll tempt. Hey, if that's what they want to do, they should do it. I'm not gonna stop them. Your dreams be dreams.
Right. But in all seriousness, that was a hell of a match with the Hardys and Top Flight, Action Andretti.
Yeah. And another thing too to point out is I think not getting their usual reactions really motivated the Hardys because they were moving and doing stuff that they haven't really done so fluidly in years.
Since their 30s almost.
Yeah, so that was a nice way to kind of motivate them because I feel like that's an issue with the Hardys the last several years is just they get too complacent being, just, oh, hey, it's the Hardy Boys. Yeah, I remember them back in the 90s and 2000s. And now, it felt like they finally got that sense of, no, I'm going to prove to these people why you should still cheer for us.
Yeah, even though they're pushing, was it late 40s?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, they should, they still do. And hopefully Jeff is able to see, holy smokes, that paint job he had, hey? How does he do it?
Ooh, that looks so good.
Oh, when he does those really good paint jobs, yeah, all I can say is, bravo. I wonder who does those for him. Do you think he does them?
I could see, that's absolutely his art style. I could see that being him.
But I mean, do you think he's sitting there in front of the mirror like all the other guys and spending 2 hours doing it? Probably. I mean, I can't imagine. I can't imagine how I'm right-handed. I'm like, how does that work? Hats off to him for sure.
Listen, there's a reason I'm not a surgeon. There's no way I can do that.
I could do it but someone else is in front of me, but I couldn't do it myself. I'd probably screw up a few times, oh, whatever, leave it. But anyways, the
you got all the face paint guys there too. You got Penta, you got Dustin, you got Sting, Darby.
Oh, there's a whole collective. They have actually their own dressing room.
Exactly. Just painters only. The art room.
Oh, painters only. Yeah. Oh my god.
Paintersonly.com.
It's a room full of Picassos in a circle.
Oh no, absolutely. There's a lot of art there. But speaking of art, Julia Hart with that amazing hat. She's coming out there and
Dude. Oh.
House Rules TBS Championship
Honestly,
against the Queen, Emi Sakura.
Okay, do you feel like they're doing her properly, Julia Hart, in this regard?
I think yes, in the sense that she's doing the open challenges with the house rules, and I like it too because whereas the past ones were kind of taking on people from like the middle and upper card, I like that she's giving opportunities to a lot of the ones from that lower mid and low tier card. Like I was so happy to see Lady Frost get that opportunity against her.
That was cool actually. When I saw that, I came across it on
Yeah.
YouTube. I was like, wait, am I seeing this properly? And I turned on the video. And that honestly, I like that match better than this one, but this was still a hell of a match. Like they're honestly, let's let her run with that belt for a few months for sure. Hell, maybe it's a Revolution.
Honestly, yeah, I could say that. John just jumped in here. John, what do you got to say?
I just wanted to say, because you asked if you thought they were doing Julia right. I thought they were doing Julia perfectly, actually.
Right?
I thought she was so, first of all, she's over as fuck. Second, when she won the title, I said on the post show, they need to be putting her in there with the Emi Sakuras and the Serena Deebs and the veteran wrestlers who can bring her to a good match and can also teach her. So far, she's done Lady Frost and Emi Sakura. It's exactly the people I wanted it to be. She's being booked perfectly. I'm like in awe of this. I can't believe this is happening. And then Emi Sakura beats the shit out of her like a veteran does a rookie. And I'm like, this is incredible. This is professional wrestling.
Whoever's booking it, yes, like John said, thank you. Thank you.
There was that moment in the match too where at the very start, like Julia was just on fire and had all this energy and momentum. And I feel like she legitimately started hitting Sakura, and Emi's like, all right, it's receipt time.
Yeah.
There was some, especially in the early part of the match, that Sakura was not holding back.
I love how she tried to hit her move a few times, Julia, and you tell she really wanted to finish the match when she was doing submission. But of course, even if they tapped, it wouldn't have ended. So Julia had to resort to other measures to win the match, and she did. And as we've all three of us have agreed, they're booking her with extreme momentum, like almost like Swerve, if anything. There we go, a beautiful shot right there, with her being the champion, the TBS champion. Now.
Make sure you look at the point too that she's, she was at the pay-per-view the sole winner for the House of Black that night.
Yes, that is true. She was the 1 and 1 and 4, 1 and 3, 1 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now here's other. I know I've seen this like countless places. I want to see your opinion, and I know our fearless leader will probably swoop in too for this question. Do you feel like this TBS belt is being almost pushed higher than the women's championship, or do you think they're on the same level, or do you still see it as a secondary?
I think it's one of those things where it's a secondary workhorse title that just so happens because of how frequently it's defended and the quality of matches associated with it.
Yeah.
It's kind of indirectly pushed itself into being like a main tier title.
Yeah.
So that's my take on it.
Yeah, no, I fully agree on that one. Like it's definitely on the same level. I know I've seen some people say it's way more prestigious than the main belt. And I'm like, I don't see if it's going that far about it. I mean, it is a beautiful belt. It has had some amazing runs. And now with Julia doing the House Rules, what the hell could happen next? Hell, there could be a match. There could be a match where it's only a 5-minute match. There could be a match where it's submissions win only. Like we don't know.
The house rules aspect too is so cool, and I just saw Edge and Christian on there. Adam Copeland, excuse me. But sorry, it slipped out. And yeah, it's just gonna be so cool to see more of those like house rules matches, and I love it too because it's like I'm so confident in myself and my abilities that I'll let you pick whatever extra stipulation you want.
Hell, there actually could be a match where it's her versus 2 girls. We don't know.
Oh, exactly. Like, look at I challenge you, and my house rule is I can have 5 people help me out at once.
That's the sad part, but still the cool part. Hell, there could be a match where she has to take the pin. Who knows? We don't know the rules. That's gonna happen. But anyways,
you gotta get the loophole where the match only begins and you can't kick out for the first 10 seconds, and you have to start laying on your back.
Oh God, finger poke of doom. Anybody? No, no. Let's go into the other one. Yeah, we've got the fathered and the fatherless. I guess you could say almost. Yeah, that
I love to. Can we appreciate when Christian said his name? The whole crowd did the Adam thing.
Oh my God, there were so many Adams all of a sudden. You could not stop hearing them saying that. Hell, I involuntarily heard the actual Adams in my head going off because I'm like, is Roddy in the room? Like, oh, we're not gonna drop that quote on this right now. I'm not gonna say that quote, that's for sure. But the fact that he actually looked Adam dead in the eye and said, "I'm sorry, and we should go on a run together," that is so heel, because he wants to get out of that match.
You know he doesn't want to do it. The whole crowd was giving the BS chant because
BS.
And Christian is such a good promo guy and just all around fantastic wrestler and tremendous patriarch for AEW that it's perfect. You knew 100% what he was doing, and he did a masterful job of making you think that there's maybe the slightest chance for that to be a real thing.
You never know, though. They could push that angle down the road of them having that one last hurrah as a tag team. When? We don't know. But as for this one, that promo heat was great because, as you said, no one believed it. Adam was standing there like, seriously, dude. Yes, agreed. Follow at Dirt Sheet Radio. We do agree that is true. That straight 10 minutes of that was just going, and then he brought up his mom,
and the whole crowd was like, "Ooh, he's going."
Yeah, everyone's like, "Back up for a minute. He's cooking. He's cooking.
Yeah. It's like everyone knows, Christian will always take that route of going after your deceased family member. But in this instance, this is his boy's deceased family member, and one that he would probably know very, very well.
Honestly, do we see a title change next week? What do you think?
See, that's just it. I don't know. And there's several routes you can go with. Knowing how these two guys like to work their own personal magic, and I feel like both these guys, being so creative as they are, they have a lot of input on the storyline, and Tony Khan loves that. And so I could see them wanting to just kind of drag this out, and going beyond that. So I could see Christian retaining via shenanigans.
Extreme shenanigans or just shenanigans?
I don't know if it'll be Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream Baby type of shenanigans, but it's going to be something.
Honestly, as much as I would love to see a title change, with the amount of heat, the amount of momentum, the amount of everything in between going on, if they push the belt on to I almost said the other name on Adam, that would be probably a little too soon. And maybe you are right. Maybe they are going to give it like a little bit of a run, maybe 3 matches, and then they'll push the belt onto him, or maybe they'll let him stay champion but have some like big matches, I guess.
Oh, because we're talking about with like Julia Hart, having those open challenge matches based on comments made by Adam Copeland on interviews and whatnot. When he left WWE, he wanted more matches. He wanted to take on all kinds of different people, and he even said it himself. That's why he's going to AEW, was to have quality matches with so many people that they have on their roster. And I could see, that open challenge workhorse title being on Adam Copeland, not only itself makes the title more prestigious than it already is, but it's also Adam Copeland being able to have more opportunities to have all those matches with different people.
Could you? Okay, here's a crazy one, because we're speaking about open challenges. What if, let's say this goes through and Adam doesn't take the belt? What if he made a debut over on the other side of the ocean? That'd be very interesting to see how that would go.
I mean, hey, if his neck and health can maintain, hey, neck strong, am I right? If that can work,
Adam,
so be it. Adam, I really saw with someone that I was personally worried about. I said a lot on the podcast. Mercedes was able to have quite the run overseas, so if she could easily make that work with her history of neck injuries, definitely I would love to see that. Adam
because
going over.
Going back to your original point with the whole open workhorse kind of challenge idea, let's say Adam does cross the ocean. You follow a little bit of Japan, right? I know this is kind of straying off. And you know who their never open weight champion is, right?
Mhm.
Give them a match. Let them go for a little bit. Let Adam win it over there. And then we open the door for more matches for him.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if he wants to have that type of schedule and have that kind of physicality, so be it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, though, I don't know. I would love to see a lot more of just Adam Copeland being able to, because it's no doubt he's on the last bit of his run and of his
2
career
years.
as well. So I could see him wanting to do anything and everything he can to go out with a bang.
Maybe 2 years, we'll say.
Yeah, like 2 or 3 years. I 100% know, because look at how his run ended, previously, when we thought that his career was done. It
Yeah.
was a spear to Tyrus, involvement with Del Rio. I don't think you want to look back at the end of your career being with those two guys in particular.
Yeah,
So,
and being you said again, you want to go out with some kind of big bang, and it has to be something. I don't know if you want to say on the same level as Sting and Ric Flair, but you want to have it on a level that's big.
oh, for sure. And that's 100% the thing with, because no matter if you love him, hate him, you want to call him a traitor, even though that makes no sense.
Yep.
Adam Copeland is big. He's definitely one of those guys I could say for certain is a crossover guy, because I know a lot of people that like, him acting like in Vikings, for instance. People love him in that role, and he does a lot of stuff beyond pro wrestling. And just the fact that his jump ship, if you will, to AEW got so many people talking and so much momentum for himself and the company. It just goes to show how important he is to wrestling as a whole. And 100%, you're going to want to make sure that you're going to hook him up with some good quality matches. And I think even, Christian himself is on the tail end of his career, obviously.
Yeah.
These two guys together is going to be just pure magic, and best friends do it best.
Especially when they know each other to a T, and they know everything they can move, it's gonna. What should we say? Give them a half an hour or 20-minute matches, half an hour matches.
I give these two half an hour. I can see them doing some magic.
Every one of their every one of their matches, give them half an hour. Let them time to shine. Let them build up. Hell, throw in one of their classics. Give them a TLC match. Let them beat the crap out of each other.
Ooh, that would be something.
TLC match for the TNT belt. Anybody?
Oh, World's End, book it.
Tony, are you watching this? Did we miss anything? I'm looking at my book here. See if we actually missed any parts.
Is that Dynamite?
I think that's Dynamite. I don't know where our fearless leader is.
Oh, no, we have, of course, the greatest, the match of the night, Wardlow and AR Fox.
Well, we're discussing the part that you love to bring us in for is the jobber and the megastar of the night.
That's right. That's right. I gotta adjust that format with that thing. It's so awkward and weird at the end of this. I feel like we should just start bringing it up as the show goes on. Like, and that was my fucking jobber of the night, because look at this shit he just did.
But either way, what are people saying, boys? Because I'm a little bit torn on who they want to see as the jobber.
Jobber of the night. Again, I said it last week. It's Fox. That's all. That was the squash match. Pure and simple.
I'm just gonna take the easy way on this one and go with that one, because we have so much we can analyze. Oh my god! Look at, there we go. English, hi. You could literally list off like 40, 50 different names, but everyone had solid matches. Whether you want to say they got buried or not, but they didn't get buried. They just had ups and downs. Whether it was the Continental Classic or the 6-man or what else was going on,
TBS title.
The TBS, like all those things were good, but it goes back to your original point that AR Fox, it's like, bro, come on, man.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like all the other matches, whoever lost the match and jobbed at the end, they still looked great. Sakura still was able to kind of look like she was getting the shoulder up after she got pinned. Everyone that lost their match in the tournament, they did it after just a pure unadulterated fight, brawl, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
The Hardy Boys jumped above and beyond the Call of Duty and did better than they've done in recent years. Plus, Brother Zay was folded up, but still put on his a great show himself. Fox, on the other hand, I didn't feel like the usual thing where he puts on that show he does where he doesn't fly, he floats, and I didn't really feel any kind of magic from him. I know the purpose of the match was to show off the frizzled hair and have the War Dog immediately following, but it didn't hit, and Fox my jobber tonight.
Now, I got one for you because I'm torn. Actually, legitimately torn because these two have. Well, one's got massive momentum and one's building momentum. Is for the megastar is torn between either Swerve or Roosh, because Roosh is just hitting harder and harder and moving really like smoothly, and then Swerve is just building as he goes every single week. So,
yeah, like you said, Swerve is just continually building and adding up, and quite honestly, even 100%, he might swerve when he drives, but Swerve's gonna be my choice for Megastar of the Night because again, he came out, he defeated Jay White, only Jay White's second loss in all of AEW, and this is the first, like, I'd say legitimate loss too, because previously Jay White lost from shenanigans. And Swerve, was just like, nah, I proved that I could do it, without crazy interference and whatnot.
Exactly.
So that's my reasoning behind that. And plus, like you said, there's so much every week. It adds up and Swerve. I'm gonna lose my voice here, but Swerve proves himself.
Hold on to your seats, boys and girls. It's gonna get more exciting every week with the Continental Classic.
It's gonna be a bumpy ride.
Next week we'll have 5 hosts. I mean,
get ready for a 40 host episode.
Boss, we need your opinion. Where is he? We need the man himself. We need your opinion.
He's back.
Yay!
Sometimes I'm here. Other times I'm chasing.
We need your humble opinion of who's Jobber and Megastar. He's weighing. He's cooking. He's cooking. He's
weighing
cooking
those options.
He's cooking. That's why he's sitting there for a minute.
All right. Other times I pull my own wire out of the bottom of the microphone as we're talking shit. I also can't hear the damn thing that's going on. I'm so organized. I love fucking doing this stuff. All right. We're back.
We're doing great. I'm still losing my voice.
I'm still here somehow.
What's up? Are y'all ready to get the hell out of here so we can take it home?
No, we asked if what you
take
think.
Take it home, but you got your Jobber and Megastar.
Yeah.
Jobber tonight is probably whoever fucked up that devil thing, because they were supposed to play a message from the devil with the type thing, but
production.
Damn it just lost the feed for a little bit.
They heard you talking trash, so they cut your mic.
We're gonna get a message on our screen suddenly. Yeah, we're gonna get a message on the screen suddenly. Dirt Sheet Radio.
I don't even know what the message was. I just know it was like unknown tag team, and then it was like yes, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what are you talking about? Fuck.
Yeah, it was pitch black on the fight feed.
Pitch black on the TSN feed over here. I almost tweeted TSN, but anyways, Megastar though, there, John. What do you think?
Megastar tonight was probably going to be shit. What was that? Fuck. I was going to say Moxley, but it's not Moxley. It's Mark Briscoe, because Mark Briscoe, even though he lost, just keeps stepping the fuck up.
Absolutely.
He is this top tier, like he's a top tier wrestler now. Main event Mark Briscoe is incredible.
Main event Briscoe, let's go.
Yeah, but that's my Megastar of the night. I mean, I guess beyond that, what do we got? Plugs. We're gonna be on the flagship DSR. It's gonna record tonight, be out tomorrow morning on video on Facebook. Interesting thing that didn't happen last week. It will stream in the morning and it'll archive there for anyone who wants to watch it. But we've also got the SmackDown post show on Friday, the Collision post show on Saturday, the Raw post show again on Monday, NXT on Tuesday, Dynamite again next Wednesday. You can catch us all live right here on Dirt Sheet Radio, social media.
Live.
All the different social medias. It's up here on your other side. The other side, Nick.
For me, it's on.
There you go. It's on my side now.
You just flipped me.
Suddenly it's gonna be upside down all of a sudden.
We'll see you guys next week, though.
Good night, guys.